How do you say it, Lucy?
Ciabatta bread.
Ciabatta bread?
Oh yeah, right. Ciabatta bread.
Good morning. Today we are going to make ciabatta bread, and I have a little helper with me today. So let's go ahead and get started. As we learn how to bake ciabatta bread today, we will find out just how easy and forgiving this recipe really is. I have never made ciabatta bread before, but it's only 4 ingredients and with a few stretch and folds. So we're going to try it and have fun with it and let this little one help me. Good job. That's 4 cups of warm water. If you are new to this channel, go ahead and click that subscribe button. I am very grateful you have joined us today. We have our 3 teaspoons of yeast, and this recipe seems just as simple as one of my other no-knead recipes. This one does have a couple of stretch and folds, but as far as I can tell, this is a pretty, very basic 4 ingredient, quick to mix recipe. There's 1.
Now time for 2.
How many more do we have? Just 1. This is all-purpose flour, and we're gonna do 9 cups. That's a lot. 1. Make sure you get it in the bowl. There you go.
That was a big blob.
That was a big blob. Hopefully Mommy can keep
Can I
count.
stir it after that?
Yep. 2.
Another big blob.
3. And my thoughts were, if this made a ton, I've never made this recipe, so it may make a lot. If it does, then we will freeze them and eat them over time. So while she stirs this, you will see that it will become a shaggy dough. That's what the recipe calls for. And I will link the recipe down in the description below. That way, if you want to look at the description in the recipe, like a printed version of it or a written up version, it is not my recipe. So we are going to try this one. I will put it down in the description below. And that way you can follow along with us. Is it hard? Does Mommy need to take over?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I'll stir it when you're washing your hands.
Oh, good idea. Thank you. If you have little helpers helping you, this is kind of a thicker dough, so they might need a little bit of help, but you're doing great, Lucy. It's okay. You're going to do 1 tablespoon of salt. It is a lot. It's a lot of salt, but I think we're making a lot of bread, so I think you'll be okay. Good job.
Stir it?
Yeah, stir it all up in there. Hopefully we can get it nice and mixed up. Doing great.
It's like doing it like a great stir.
Uh-huh.
It's like slime.
It is kind of like slime, but this slime you get to eat once it's cooked. See if we can get them cleaned off. All right, now remember, don't put them back in once you get it cleaned off, okay?
Yeah.
Or does it tickle?
Tickles a little bit.
This might have been a bad idea. Okay.
Get the rest of it off.
I'm working on it.
Gotta shine on. Ow!
Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry. Okay, let's see here. All right, now maybe go wash the hair. I'll move this stool over to the sink. Lucy asked, she loves to touch the dough, and most of the time I let her, but sometimes the dough is more of a wet-ish dough. And this one was definitely stickier, so I don't know if that was the best idea, but she had a blast doing it. I will show you what the shaggy dough looks like now. This is what a shaggy dough looks like. It means that all of the ingredients are not fully incorporated. It's not fully mixed to exactly like smooth texture. It just kind of looks shaggy. And it is a little bit more of a wet dough. You see it kind of starting to slide out. So now Lucy is gonna cover it and we're gonna let it sit for 30 minutes and then we will start our stretch and folds.
Can I put it on the stove?
Yep.
It's heavy.
It is heavy. You need help? Yeah, okay. You gonna pick it up? Good job.
What's in that other one?
That is our bread for dinner tonight. Yep. So this is the other loaf I was talking about, and you'll see it's just a classic rustic loaf, and this is 4 ingredients and no need. You mix it, sit it out, and then bake it. That's it. So I could put this recipe down below as well. We made this for dinner tonight. We're gonna have potato chowder, which sounds really good, especially with a homemade loaf of bread. And the ciabatta bread, I'm hoping to use for sandwiches. It has been about 30-ish minutes, give or take a little bit. I'm not gonna be exact with the timing of the stretch and folds, but the recipe does say to do 3 or 4 every 30 minutes. So that means we are on our first one. We put the dough over there at about 10:20-ish, and now it is currently 10:43. What we're gonna do is I'm going to have her wet her hands. I'll do the first stretch and fold sets to show you. That way you see what it looks like if you've never done them before. And from there, it is easy enough for her to do. So if she can do it, if I can do it, any of y'all can do it. So it is that simple, and we will get started.
Dip my hands in a bowl with water.
Yep. We are gonna use this bowl of water to help keep this from sticking to our hands like it did while we were mixing it. That definitely is very helpful because with this being such a shaggy, sticky dough, using the water allows you to not have to get it stuck to your hands. All right, and you don't want them like wringing wet, but pretty wet is perfect. And then all you're gonna do is gather up one side, and the first one's gonna be a little bit harder because there is zero gluten formation or anything like that. So it's gonna be very wet feeling. The first round of stretch and folds you do is gonna be the hardest just because it's still wet and loose. But the more you do, the more that gluten will form. And from there, it will get a lot easier for sure. You ready? Good job. So all you're gonna do is take one side of it, pull up, and fold it back on itself.
Okay.
And then turn it. So get this side and pull up and fold it. Good job. Don't pinch it. There you go. That was good. All right, now wet your hands again. And we turned it again about kind of like you're thinking of it as a square. Don't pinch, just pull up and over. There you go. Good job. And then you want to gather. See how I'm not pinching, Lucy? You don't want to pinch it off. You just want to gather it and pull up and then fold down. Wet your hands again, see if that helps, because mine are starting to stick again. And if you need to wet your hands again, that's fine. Just make sure you kind of drip them off so that they're not soaking wet, because you don't want to add any more water to an already wet dough. Good job. All right, and then you want to gather from under here, like this, up and under. Instead of just gathering the top, try to gather up and under and then pull. Yep, good job. Very nice. All right, I think that's good. We kind of stretched and folded more than we needed to, but that's okay. It's not gonna hurt it. And guys, I don't claim to be an expert at this, so we're all learning together, But again, I have found that bread is very forgiving. It can be very forgiving when you work with it. See how kind of jiggly it is? It's pretty wet. So all we're gonna do now is cover it back up and let it rest for another 30 minutes and then do another stretch and fold. It is well past the 30-minute mark. We went out and ran some errands, so we're gonna find out just how forgiving this bread is gonna be. I think we only ended up doing 2 or 3 stretch and folds. And again, the recipe actually calls for you to do a stretch and fold every 30 minutes for 3 or 4 sets, which means that you would be done with stretch and folds after about 2 hours, and then you would be able to bake it. Now, with that being said, I again went out, ran errands, and we were gone for longer than I expected, and that is okay. That is where I want to kind of impress. If you have never been a bread baker, you've never done this, you're new to baking in general, this is so easy. A lot of the recipes that I work with, yes, it would be even better if I were to do it correctly. However, if you're new to that, don't get stuck on like the details of it. It is just get started, work with it, get your hands in it. And a lot of times I have found that they can be very forgiving. You will see towards the end of this that because I could only cook 1 tray of these ciabatta breads at a time, and I had 2 of them. The other one ended up sitting out as I had to go get my kids from school and do the carpool pickup thing. And so it ended up sitting out a lot longer than I intended for it to. Even after being overproofed this morning, it got overproofed again. But I ended up baking the second tray. And even though you can tell that it was overproofed because the dough was starting to kind of fan out a little more and lose its bounce, it ended up kind of looking like it was almost like it was spilling out a little bit. I ended up baking it just to see what would happen because I was curious myself, and they turned out just fine. They weren't quite as fluffy or thick as the first group of ciabatta bread that you see me putting on the tray right here, but really, again, so forgiving. This was such an easy recipe. I was so pleasantly surprised, and I will definitely be baking this again. But the first tray did turn out a little bit better than the second tray, but the second tray tasted just fine. It still tasted great. It still looked great. Baking can be a little messy, but once you are ready to cut your ciabatta bread after you're done with your stretch and folds, all I did was do a well-floured surface, and I tried to gently spread the dough out. You don't want to bust all of those air bubbles and the fluffiness, so you don't want to really knead the dough or play with it too much. You just want to try to fan it out until it's about an inch and a half thick. And then from there, I just cut it into squares or rectangles, whatever shape is best for you. I did a little bit of both, so mine are not perfect looking, and that's something that I can work on stylistically later. But really, again, super simple. You just chop it up very gently, and there's no folding it again or shaping the dough into certain loaf shapes or anything like that. You just chop it, set it gently onto a pan that I did gently spray with some nonstick spray. We just got back from picking up my girls, and now it's time to get this in the oven. I put a little bit of water in a tray, which is what the recipe calls to do. So that's sitting in there now, and I will preheat that with the oven. We're gonna start it off at 450 degrees, and then after 10 minutes, once I put these in and they're preheated, after 10 minutes of them being in the oven, we'll reduce it to 400 degrees for another 15 to 20 minutes. So hopefully they turn out. The water in the tray helps to allow that beautiful crust to form that gives it that kind of crisp, crunchy texture on the outside, and it's just gorgeous. The taste and texture are just fantastic when you do it this way, and I may even add a little bit of ice cubes to the tray to give that steam a little bit more of a boost. And I will say that after the 10 minutes were up and I decreased the temperature, I realized I thought I had burnt them, or I didn't end up leaving them in the oven as long as the recipe called for because I thought that they were burning. And looking back on it, I think it's because I reduced the temperature only to 430 instead of 400. They actually look like they're pretty much done and starting to get burnt. They look a little lighter on screen than they actually do in person. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and take them out because I don't want them to burn. They look okay on the bottom, but I think we're okay. They're nice and crispy too. That's great. They look beautiful. I'm curious what they look like on the inside because I've never made these before, so we'll find out. I am gonna make the second batch when I get back from picking up my kids. I picked up some of my kids and the others I still need to go pick up. I have 4 kids, so some of them got home and then now it's time to go pick up the others. So I will do this batch when I get home from getting them. After baking both recipes, I did end up trying this and oh my goodness, the taste and texture were fantastic. It was perfectly salted. The crust was perfect. Not a complaint in the world. This ciabatta bread was really good. I have had really stiff and tough ciabatta bread before, and this one was just really fluffy and soft. And I don't know if that's necessarily how it's supposed to be, but I prefer it that way. So I'm really glad it turned out that way. It would be perfect for sandwiches. However, it did not make it that far. It did make a lot of ciabatta bread, and I thought this would be plenty that we could use for sandwiches. But by the time my kids got home and we all dug into it, there was no more within the next 24 hours. We absolutely loved it. The kids loved it. I did dip it in some pimento cheese, and that was really wonderful as well. So it turned out great. It would probably taste even better with an olive oil and garlic salt with Italian seasoning dip would probably taste great too. All in all, I will definitely be making this recipe again in the future. It was fantastic. But I do want to take this time to say thank you so much for joining me here today at Autumnly at Home. It truly is an honor that you joined me here. I will put this recipe as well as the rustic loaf and a video that I made turning the rustic loaf into mini bread bowls for like potato soup, chili, whatever you want to use it for. They turned out great that way too. But thank you so much again for joining me. I will add also a playlist to the end that you are welcome to watch until my next upload. Please like, subscribe, and share, and I hope to see you guys next time.